In 2018, Bayer made a deal worth $63 billion. The company believed it was buying the future of farming. Instead, many analysts now see it as one of the most damaging business deals in modern history. Bayer was a company trusted for more than 150 years. It made medicines used by millions of people around the world. But after one boardroom decision, lawsuits exploded, investors lost confidence. The company's value fell dramatically. This is the story of the $63 billion poison pill that destroyed Bayer. Long before Bayer became part of one of the biggest business disasters in history, it was one of the most respected companies in the world. The company was founded in Germany in 1863. Over the next 150 years, Bayer built a reputation for science, medicine, and innovation. Millions of families trusted its products. One of its most famous achievements was helping bring aspirin to the global market, turning it into one of the world's best-known pain relievers. As the company grew, so did its ambition. Bayer expanded into healthcare, pharmaceuticals, and agriculture. By the early 2000s, it had become one of the world's largest life science companies. But success brought a new challenge. Growth became harder. Competition became stronger. Around the world, the biggest companies were looking for faster ways to expand. Instead of building something new, many chose a different path. They started buying other companies. The idea sounded simple. Buy a successful business, combine both companies, and become even stronger. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it created disasters worth billions of dollars. In 2016, Bayer's leadership believed they had found the perfect opportunity. A company that controlled some of the world's most valuable farming technology. Its name was Monsanto. And buying it would become the biggest decision in Bayer's history. But behind closed boardroom doors, not everyone believed it was a good idea. Some investors and market observers questioned whether Bayer was paying far too much for a company already facing serious legal challenges. Those concerns would soon become impossible to ignore. By 2016, Bayer wanted to become the biggest company in agriculture. There was only one problem. The company standing in its way was Monsanto. Monsanto was one of the world's largest agricultural companies. It developed seeds that could produce larger harvests. It also sold crop protection products used by farmers around the world. But Monsanto was also one of the most controversial companies in America. For years, it had faced criticism over its products. Monsanto was already dealing with legal challenges that many investors were watching closely. Still, Bayer believed the rewards were greater than the risks. Its leaders believed that combining science with technology would create an industry leader. The plan sounded powerful. One company would supply medicines, the other would help grow food. Together, they could reach customers in almost every country. But buying a company is one thing. Agreeing on a price is another. Bayer made offer after offer. Monsanto rejected them one by one. Each new offer became larger than the last. Finally, Bayer agreed to pay around $63 billion. It became one of the largest corporate acquisitions ever completed by a German company. Many investors celebrated the announcement. Others were far less convinced. Some analysts questioned whether Bayer had paid far too much, warning that legal risks could become a serious problem. At the time, nobody knew just how expensive those risks would become. The deal officially closed in 2018. Bayer had finally become the world's largest agriculture and life science company. For a brief moment, everything looked like a success. But that feeling did not last long. Along with Monsanto's business, Bayer also inherited thousands of lawsuits connected to Roundup, one of the world's most widely used weed killers. Many people claim that long-term exposure to Roundup had caused serious health problems. Bayer has consistently maintained that Roundup is safe when used as directed, and it has pointed to assessments from several regulators around the world that support its position. However, many people who filed lawsuits disagreed. The legal battle quickly became one of the biggest challenges Bayer had ever faced. Only weeks after completing the acquisition, the first major court decisions began making headlines. Investors watched closely. Each new lawsuit created more uncertainty. No one knew how much these legal cases would eventually cost. As uncertainty grew, confidence began to disappear. Bayer's share price started to fall. What had looked like a bold move to build the future was now becoming something very different. The company had not just bought Monsanto. It had also bought years of legal battles that would shape Bayer's future. As the lawsuits continued, investors became more nervous. Every new court case created more uncertainty about Bayer's future. The biggest question was simple: how much would all of this cost? No one had a clear answer. Over the next few years, Bayer announced plans to set aside billions of dollars to resolve many of the legal claims. Even with these efforts, new lawsuits continued to appear. The uncertainty made many investors lose confidence. Bayer's stock price fell sharply, as the company was now facing one of the biggest financial challenges in its history. The company that had hoped to become stronger after the Monsanto deal was now dealing with a problem it had hoped was behind it. Many analysts began calling the acquisition one of the worst corporate deals ever made. Not because Bayer had failed to grow, but because the legal risks turned out to be much larger than many people expected. Instead of talking about innovation, Bayer was answering questions about lawsuits. Instead of celebrating growth, executives were trying to rebuild trust. The boardroom decision that promised a brighter future had become a burden that refused to go away. As the years passed, Bayer faced a difficult question. Could the company ever recover from the Monsanto deal? Its leaders tried several solutions. They set aside billions of dollars to settle many legal claims. They continued investing in new medicines and agricultural technology. And they promised investors they were focused on rebuilding trust. But recovering from a decision this large would never be easy. The lawsuits continued. Court cases continued. And every new headline reminded investors of the acquisition. Some shareholders even called for major changes inside the company. There were debates about whether Bayer should separate its pharmaceutical and agricultural businesses. Others believed the company should stay together and focus on long-term recovery. No solution was simple. The acquisition had changed Bayer's future in ways that could not be reversed overnight. Even today, the company continues to operate globally. It remains one of the largest life science companies on Earth. But for many, the Monsanto acquisition is the first thing they remember. One decision, one signature, one boardroom vote. A choice that would shape the company for years to come. The Bayer-Monsanto deal was never just about two companies. It was about one simple question: how much risk is too much? Every business wants to grow. Every CEO wants to leave behind a bigger company than the one they inherited. But growth only creates value when the risks are fully understood. The Monsanto deal reminds us that buying a company also means buying its problems, its debts, its reputation, its legal battles, and its future. Many analysts believe Bayer focused too much on what the deal could become and not enough on what it could cost. No one can predict every problem, but strong leadership is not about believing everything will go right. It is about preparing for the things that could go wrong. That is why the best boardrooms do more than chase opportunity. They question it, they challenge it, and sometimes they walk away. Because the most expensive mistake is not the deal you miss. It is the deal you cannot escape. In the end, Bayer did not fail because it wanted to grow. Every successful company wants to grow. The problem was believing that one deal could solve everything. The Monsanto acquisition promised a stronger future. Instead, it brought years of legal battles, financial pressure, and difficult questions that still follow the company today. Bayer continues to operate around the world. It continues to develop medicines and agricultural products. And the company is still working to move forward. But the Monsanto deal has become a permanent part of its history. For business leaders, the lesson is clear. A bigger company is not always a better company. The most valuable decision in a boardroom is not always saying yes. Sometimes it is having the courage to say no. It's because every company can buy another business. But no company can buy back its reputation. And once trust is lost, it can take years to earn it again. This wasn't just the story of Bayer. It was the story of what can happen when ambition moves faster than caution. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more stories about the biggest decisions that change the world's most powerful companies. Thank you for watching.